I quit my 9-to-5 job that I had for over 18 years with the state of New Jersey about 6 or 7 weeks ago. I know you're wondering, how's that going so far? And what's the Frugal family up to? I will say, not going to work feels like being on a vacation every day if your vacations involve a lot of housework and maintenance, which I think mine do. So it feels like vacation every day, and I love it. I love being home. I am very, very happy, but it has made finances a little bit tighter. Every time you think you're as frugal as you can get, something happens, like you quit your job, and you have to get even more frugal. So I thought I would let you know what we're up to in the frugal realm. Do you all each have a favorite coffee cup? You know, you wouldn't think it makes a difference, but right now this is one of my favorite coffee cups. I have two favorite coffee cups. They're both from LL Bean. I got them last summer when I was in Maine on vacation, and I love them. And somehow it just makes the coffee drinking experience so much better. One thing people asked when I put my video up about quitting my job, what are you going to do for health insurance? Because I had pretty good health insurance through work. Yesterday, we signed up for health insurance, and we are paying out of pocket for the 5 of us in the family to have health insurance, and it's pretty good coverage. It has a pretty big deductible, but besides that, it's pretty decent coverage. But that was also money I really didn't have extra to spend every month, but Frugal Daddy and I really felt as responsible, loving, and you know, the perfect parents that we are, we really needed to have health insurance for the kids. I was willing to go without, but it was a family plan, so I'm on it. I definitely feel good as a mother about having health insurance, but we got to come up with that money every month. Now, the thing about making money on YouTube is you have to let the ads run. I'm not saying you have to watch the ads. I'm not even saying you have to watch me. You can just let the video run, let the ads run, and go do the things you really want to do around the house. So frugal things we're up to and what my daily routine is like now. That's what this whole video is kind of about. This is basically how we spend a day when I'm not subbing, because sometimes I sub at my kids' school. So this is how I spend a day when they're at school, I'm at home. First, as soon as we get home from dropping them at school, I turn the heat way down. That means I'm turning the thermostat down from about 58 to about 52. And I will say, yesterday I was here on the stairs painting here in the front hall. It was freezing. Like, I thought our furnace wasn't even working. I mean, it was cold. It was very cold out, but it was also a super duper windy day, and the wind was just pounding at this house. Pounding. It was so cold. Every day for me pretty much starts out with tidying the house. I know. I am woman. Hear me roar. Dining room, and I want to show you something I bought the other day at the thrift store. Now that we have signed up for the health insurance that we have to pay for every month, we are on a strict no spend policy. That's probably the best frugal advice you can ever get. Just don't spend money. But we went to the thrift store the other day before we signed up for health insurance, and I don't know, I was in a crazy mood. So I got Frugal Daddy to treat me. And he bought me this funky scarf that was about $2 or $3. I thought, this is the most beautiful fabric I've ever seen in my life. This scarf would make a fantastic table runner. Unless I actually want to wear it as a scarf, which, I mean, I look amazing. We had this on the bare wooden table as this like super cool, elegant table runner, but it was too slippery. It was just too slippery. So now we're putting down the tablecloth and we're gonna put the runner on top for a cool, funky look. And I know you're all going to be amazed and say, oh, she's dropping stuff on the floor. Oh, I never knew you could do something so fabulously funky with a big fashion scarf. Oh, but you can. So we're going to spread it out, and yes, I feel that it's much more stable on top of a tablecloth. All right, let's smooth everything out. I do this to try to make the dining room table look inviting, because I think it's really important to sit down and eat dinner together as a family. Basically, every meal you should sit down together. There should be no eating at the computer or eating in front of the TV. I'm not going to say we don't do those things, because we do. Ideally, you're going to eat together as a family. Our centerpiece is going to be this lovely hand-blown glass bowl that my mother gave me years ago as a gift with some nice bright lemons in it. And those lemons are from dumpster diving. And we'll put a couple of nice candles. This one was nicer before I dropped it on the floor and broke it in half, but kids love to eat by candlelight. They think eating by candlelight is the funnest, most fabulous thing, which obviously it is, but it's also frugal because we turn all the electricity off. I did iron it, but not very well apparently. But isn't that the most beautiful table runner you ever saw? Sorry it was dark for that segment. I forgot to put the dining room light on while I was filming, because you don't turn the lights on when you're trying to save electricity, and there's plenty of light coming in the window. Here's another fun and frugal project I did a couple of days ago, and I thought about filming it, but then I thought, that's boring and stupid, but I'll just show you the end result. I know before and after would be more effective, but we had this old chair that we found in the trash somewhere. It had a dirty beige cover. I took the seat off, which just meant unscrewing it at the four corners underneath, and I ripped off the ugly beige, and then I ripped off 2 more layers of fabric that were on there over the original upholstery, and then I put this fabric on, and all you have to do is fold it under and use a staple gun, staple it into place. It's kind of like you're wrapping the seat like you'd wrap a gift, nice and tight. We already had this fabric. I didn't go out and buy it. I think, again, this is something my mother probably gave me, because I don't ever recall buying this fabric. But now it looks super cool, and it's much nicer in our dining room that it doesn't have this like dirty, nasty, just out of the trash look. And that's how somebody's nasty old trash can become your treasure. And yes, we do have dollhouses in the dining room, because we're that kind of fun. And now just quickly, because I'm in the room where this plant happened to be, this is a little miniature rose bush that Daddy pulled out of the CVS dumpster the other day. And, you know, it was all wrapped up with the cellophane, and there was a lot of deadness to it. There was a lot of deadness, a lot of dry deadness. I could tell there was still life in this baby. So I gave it some water, and I cut all the dead bits off, and it looks a lot better without the dead bits all over it. So we're working on bringing this back to life, and we have it in a southern-facing window to get some light, and in the spring we'll plant it in the garden, and we have a free rose. Here's another little something we found in the trash. It's just a little display box for your little collectible tchotchkes, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this, whether I like it or I hate it. So we're going to give it a try and see how it works. The one thing I'm not wild about is that it doesn't have anything on the back to mount it on the wall, which we could add, but for the moment this would just sit on a table or a shelf, and I don't really want more junk taking up shelf and table space, so that's why I feel a little bit iffy about it. I don't have anything fabulously special that I need a display box for, but I remember when I was little, my mother had a little display box with little china something or others in it, and I was fascinated by it as a little kid, and I loved looking at the little treasures in the little box. I know, times were so simple back then. So anyway, I'm going to clean this up. I'm thinking about painting the back of the inside white so the little tchotchke things show up better. I had contemplated painting the whole thing, but I don't know. We might stick with the distressed blue. It took us a long time to figure out how to even open this because it had basically been painted shut. And yes, for some reason I'm doing this on my bathroom floor. I really don't know why, but you can see, yeah, there's the laundry hanging up to dry on the drying racks. The compartments in here are super small, so it's going to take really, really little tchotchkes, and I don't have ones that are all that massively tiny. You would think this little Pooh Bear and Piglet in their rainy day umbrella would work, but it's actually kind of big. It opens off the top. The top had been painted shut, so that's why it took us a long time to figure that out. And then the glass lifts up, which we'll clean. And this whole thing lifts out. Lift out. Okay, now it's stuck part way out. Oh, there you go. That's one way to get it out. Okay, so this falls out when you give it a bang. I'm just going to paint this back part white. Luckily, I don't have to go all the way to the edges and worry about the sides because the insert has its own sides. This will take more than one coat though. Okay, we'll let that dry and then we'll slam on another coat. And while I'm doing all of that, these two are doing this. Pretty much for the rest of the day until we go get the girls from school, I'm going to be working on my stair painting project. The man who owned the house before us painted the stairs, and he had the steps and the risers in this kind of poopy brown color. So I decided I wanted to repaint them with the really dark brown on the step and white on the riser. So that's my project. When we leave to get the girls from school, we'll turn the heat up a little bit so the house is warmer for them when they get home, and they'll come home and have a little snack and a little moment to relax, and then we start to work on homework, which even though they're only in first grade, takes us a long time. Let's not forget our little project in the bathroom. The paint is all dry. We'll put this back in. We'll put our little figurines in. If you have something like this that you move around and things slide around, you can fix them in place using a little bit of wax. It's a kind of wax that you can get at dollhouse and miniature stores to hold dollhouse things in place. And also, if you have a kid with braces, sometimes they're given wax to pad the braces so they don't cut their gums, and you can use that same kind of wax to hold these kind of things in place. There you go, tip of the day. Now, since I don't have any of that kind of wax to keep them all in place, I need to figure out where I want to put this first and then put the glass and the top back on. For the moment, I'm going to put it on the bookshelf in the girls' room. So I'll slide the glass back in place and we'll put the top back on. And there we go. There's our little miniatures display box free from the trash. Well, there you go. That's our frugal existence for the moment. As always, thanks for watching, everybody. See you later. Bye.